Probably this one was the most time-consuming card. So this actually is all the little pieces that fell out of the window. So when you die cut the window, you have all of these little pieces. I actually used stick-it tape and then basically adhered it in, and this took quite a while, but as you can see there is another layer there. So what I did was I put this down like this, and then I pieced all these little pieces in one by one, and it did take a while, but as you can see it looks pretty good there. And I really like how that looks. I'm going to add it now to this purple mat, and this will be a lot easier to adhere than the last couple cards because we won't have all those little pieces. I've done all of that adhering earlier. So now instead of the window we have all the pieces, and this is kind of the way I really hoped it was going to look when I first purchased the die, and it was just a lot more time consuming to do it this way. And I kind of used this window part as a stencil. So now that I've got that adhesive on the back off, I'm going to put this one on. And originally I thought about putting this onto craft paper, but I thought, you know what, then you would kind of think that you can see it in behind, but I really want to show off that this has been pieced on there one piece at a time. I'm just going to go over the whole piece again with my bone folder, and then I'm going to have this piece come in, and I'm going to have a ribbon on it with a flower like this. And again, I'm going to leave a sentiment off this one just so that I can keep it for another time when I might need a card like this. I'm going to use some tape here to adhere down this ribbon, and this ribbon was like bang on the same color as what I needed, so this worked out really good. And now that that ribbon is on there, I think I'm going to have to put the flower down on the bottom. I kind of want the ribbon to go a little bit more over, so I'm just going to lift it up here, and I'm going to move this tape over slightly. Just want the ribbon to be a little bit more over, and this is another reason why I like using the tape. It's pretty easy to move this, and I'll see how I like the look of that now. Let's put this all together on the card base and have a quick look. I do like that a lot better. There's definitely room for a sentiment over here, or I suppose you could have it elsewhere as well. So I'm going to put this piece now down. Lots of layers on this card, that is for sure. This is a really strong card base that I'm using. This is one of the 110-pound cardstocks from Michaels, and because it's such a strong card base, it should have no problem holding up with all of these layers that are on it. So now that I have that, I'm going to add the flower. I really like the flower on this. It adds quite a bit, and yet you're not having too much on here. I'm going to place this right in the middle of that ribbon and close to the bottom, and I think that will just look really great there. I really like how that looks, and again, I can add bling, I can add sequins, or I can add a sentiment to this later. I pulled out some distress ink. I've got this peacock feathers, picked raspberry, and wilted violet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bit of a technique on here. I'm just going to do a little bit of distressing on here, and then we will have our piece sit over the window to show off this distress ink. And I'm going to start out with some of this picked raspberry, and I'm going to come in from the side here, and I'm just going to add the color from the outside and then blend into the inside. And these distress inks are really great to blend like this, you can bring it in from the outside and it just blends so nicely. I really like this ink, and I think that there's a lot of good uses for this Distress Oxide ink. It also works so well with water, and if we want to add some water drops to this afterwards, that will look pretty interesting as well. So I really want to get lots of this pink in here, and I'm just going to keep adding it so that I get a little bit darker tone. Once I've got that now, I'm going to bring in the Wilted Violet, and I really like this color as well. It's very pretty, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to do a diagonal sweep of this color. And again, I'm going to come in from that corner and I'm going to slowly pull the color across, blending with the pink as I go. And it's going to kind of create another tone in the middle when the pink and the purple mix. And I'm just going to turn it now and come in from the other side so I can get right into the middle. And I'm going to put it a little bit more heavily here on the edge so that it pulls in a little bit more. And again, I'm just going to go back over the pink a little bit. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab the pink again and pull it right across the purple just for good measure. And I really like how that looks. I think I want just a little bit more in this section here. Now that I've done that, I'm going to grab my Peacock Feathers colors, and this one will be a little bit easier to do because again, a lot of it is on the corner, and I'll be able to pull a little bit of a darker tone onto this card mat. I've taken this now and I've cut it down to size to be 4 by 5 1/4, and I've taken the window piece now and I've cut it down so that I can do this, and that way I can see the color in behind, but I'm going to get this nice border, and I really like how that looks. And I think this sweep of the color, you can kind of see, looks really great. I think at this point I would like to add a little bit more of the purple, because as you can tell, once I put this over, it's harder to see that transition with the purple. So I'm just going to come in again and I'm just going to put a little bit more of the purple in so we can definitely see that there is that middle shade. Especially on that one side that didn't seem as dark. And I'm going to put the window back on and I'm just going to take a peek now. And yes, now you can definitely see that purple in comparison to the pink. So we'll put this all together now. I've added the adhesive and gone back through the window and taken all that extra adhesive that had gone through the little spots in the window, and now I'm going to add this piece. And once I've got that on there, now I'm going to go back again with my bone folder, and I just really like how this looks. And this was kind of, after I saw how the die was, this was kind of my first idea was, okay, window card with some distress ink in behind. And again, this could be endless because you could do many different color combinations. I've added adhesive on the back already and taken the back off. And now I'm going to add this piece to this black card base. I really love how this looks. I love those distress colors, and again, you could do multiple combinations, and I think this really works well with this type of die, this type of window look with these distress inks in behind. I'm done this card for now. I will be adding sequins and most likely a sentiment on this later.